Hello, my name is Mary Lawson, and the topic I will be discussing today is ethnic considerations, focusing on Asian and Pan-Asian populations.
As future health professionals, we should understand the importance of cultural competency. The goal for this presentation is to allow viewers to expand their knowledge on ethnic considerations, focusing on Asian populations. There are 4 objectives for this presentation. Viewers will be able to describe health risks among females in Asian populations. Viewers will be able to understand how much of the world is inhabited by Asian populations. Viewers will be able to name other health risks and needs among Asian populations in general. And then viewers, finally, will be able to understand how important cultural competency is when dealing with Asian and Pan-Asian populations, and when making their health programs.
Population overview. Currently, Asia's population stands at 4.4 billion people. That's 30% of the world's land and 60% of the world's current population. Population growth is very high, and it continues to grow. Population growth at this rate is threatening Asia's resources. 18.2% of Asian Americans are living in the United States, and 5.6% of Asians account for the United States population. This racial group is defined as people having origins in any of the original peoples of Eastern Eurasia, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent. Asian Americans represent both extremes of the socioeconomic and health indices. Some continued facts on population overview for Asian populations. Per 1,000 births, 3.78 deaths occur in infants in Asian populations. Generally, Asian populations are considered healthy. That would be a low 0.8.1% of all persons, all ages, are in fair or poor health, which is low compared to the United States or white populations. Adults in Asian populations, men aged 20 and over with obesity are about 11.7%, and women over the age of 20 with obesity are about 13.6%. Leaving the elderly, which of course men over 20 with hypertension at about 27.8%, and women over 20 with about 24.2% have hypertension. According to the 2017 Census Bureau population estimate, there are 18.2 million Asian Americans alone living in the United States. Asian Americans account for 5.6% of the nation's population, as said in the first slide of population overview. In 2017, the following states had the largest Asian American population. Some examples are California, New York, Texas, New Jersey, and Florida. You can kind of see the common factor all these states have, which they're bigger states and they house more populations. Now that you have a better understanding of where the Asian population is located in the United States and how much of the population they actually make up, let's dive into growth and development for Asian populations. So the Asian population growth quadrupled by the 21st century, which is major. According to the Census Bureau projections, the 2015 life expectancies at birth for Asian Americans are 79.9 years of age. Let's round that to 80, with about 82 years of age for women and 77.5 years for men. So, in turn, they're living longer. 86.9% of all Asians in the United States, 25 and older, had at least a high school diploma. and 53.8% of Asian Americans earn at least a bachelor's degree. So here we see a higher education level among Asian populations. However, being in the United States and among health professionals still see a language barrier between the Asian population. In 2017, 74.4% of Asian Americans spoke a language other than English at home. So we have to keep that into account. For implementation of a health program specifically targeted for Asian populations, we need to address health needs for the population. We will cover language barriers, see if translators will be required for such health programs. We will cover how health professionals should be aware of lingo, both English and Asian. We will cover the importance of culture competency. You need to be, as a health professional, you should be aware of religious practices of Asian culture. Are there any barriers from those religions that may arise, such as can they not eat certain foods, or can they not practice certain health beliefs? We will also look at, just touch on a little bit, some types of religions for Asian cultures, because of course this will play into implementation of our program. We also need to remember that Asian Americans are largely recent immigrants and refugees. They are extremely heterogeneous and bipolar in socioeconomic status and indices. Because of their small numbers until the last 2 decades, many health workers have had little exposure to this minority, their culture, and health problems. Health workers need to be sensitive to the ethnocultural barriers that confront recent arrivals. Be aware of the genetic disorders, infectious diseases, and mental health problems common in this population, and realize that the psychological differences may require attention in certain surgical procedures and medical management. These are all things as health professionals we need to be aware of and realize when implementing our programs or dealing with these populations. As we cover health needs for the Asian populations, let's also take a look at health risks for Asian populations. The leading causes of death for this population are stroke, heart disease, and cancer, just like the leading causes of death for the United States. Asian Americans contend with numerous factors which may threaten their life and health, such as lung cancer, which is also one of the leading causes of death in the United States. 4.3% of women over age 18 currently smoke cigarettes, and 13.5% of men over age 18 who currently smoke cigarettes, according to the CDC. Surprisingly, suicide rate in Asian American women over 65 years of age is at 11.6 per 100,000 women. I was surprised. Also, cervical cancer in Asian American women are 5 times more likely to develop than in the average American white woman. I was also surprised by this. And as health professionals, we need to remember that health risks are higher for refugees as well. Going back to Asian American women older than 65 that have a high suicide rate, I wanted to touch on Asian American women, aged 18 or older. 2.7% have attempted suicide at some point in their lives, and 9.1% of the group reported having had suicidal thoughts, which again was very surprising to me, but it's true. Also, Asian Americans are at a high risk for type 2 diabetes. The risk for type 2 diabetes occurs at a lower BMI for Asian Americans compared to other ethnic groups. Additionally, while diabetes was the seventh leading cause of death in the U.S. In 2006, it ranked as fifth among Asian Americans. When considering programming implications for a program that is targeted specifically for Asian populations, the following should apply. Your program should apply and adjust to all ages. It should be affordable, time-friendly, and goal-oriented, like many health programs. The program should acknowledge different languages and language barriers, and the program should remain open-minded and culturally competent. Some programming concerns and considerations that should be taken into consideration when forming a program for this targeted population should be: some common questions asked will be, will this program contain language barriers? Will this program be open to my way of thinking and cultural values? This is where us as health professionals should focus on cultural competency. Some other questions is this program open-minded? And can the professionals within this program relate to my struggles of being a minority? These are some things to think about when creating your health program. I hope this presentation has allowed you to expand your knowledge on ethnic considerations according to Asian populations. And I hope this gives you a little bit better of a glimpse of looking at cultural competency when you will make your future health programs.